What is up, guys? Welcome to week 25 of the All In podcast with Bad Beat Bryce and Ryan the Rock. How you doing today, Ryan?
Oh my goodness, I'm doing very well. Bryce. How are you? It's not raining today. Yesterday was yucky.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice day today. I got out for a walk. No complaints.
Oh yeah, those many of us can sympathize with the work from home blues, but walks in the fall in New England, they're just the best. There's nothing.
Yeah, I'm blessed in the sense that I've got a trail literally in my backyard, so you can hike that for miles. So yeah, it's been nice.
Also been running on it to some degree.
Not recently because of my back, but yeah, back in the day when I was trading, 100% ran on it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's the poker grind been?
Dude, it's been all right. I've definitely been on not a super big downswing, but a bit of a downswing recently. I've been making some adjustments in like my post-flop play and stuff because I've been focusing a lot lately on pre-flop things. And so now I think the focus for me for like this week and next week is going to be post-flop and sizing on flops, turns, and rivers, reading board textures, things like that. That's been me. I don't know.
That's awesome.
That's been my one complaint recently is that you'll see it today. I think we have a hand where I make a pretty significant error in sizing, I think. And I think it just, goes to show you got to ask yourself the right questions before you bet.
100%. You got it. I had a nice little run yesterday, a little brutal. I fired in a 1K tournament on Poker Bros. It was like 250 people, and I ended up getting 10th, but it was so brutal. I basically chip led the entire thing until the end, got it in, queens versus ace-jack off. Dude punted for like 16 bigs with ace-jack off, but, that's poker. And we had a nice conversation about how, like, those are the players we want to play against. And Poker Bros, especially during COVID, has been so soft. Like, you really can't complain.
No complaint.
Pretty good cash. But before we get into our guests, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Doug Polk and Daniel Negreanu matchup. So they are set to go, and apparently they're each loading their accounts for $1 million. And pardon my French, but Doug Polk's been a complete dick on Twitter.
Of course he has. He's going to enjoy this.
So people are laying odds on how many Twitter followers he's going to lose. Apparently, just over 2020, he's just been on a steady decline. He's just been a dick. And Christian Soto's called him out for it. A bunch of people have just been laying into him. And he's just like, this is going to be a walk in the park, like crushing these guys. Like he's just been a dick. But I personally am rooting for Negreanu. While I think Doug Polk has the edge, obviously he's one of the best heads-up players in the world. I'm rooting for Negreanu all day. What about you?
I honestly don't know because I think like before, there's a lot more to Doug Polk about the trash talk and stuff. It's gotten a little worse. Like when it's fun and in fun on like Poker Night in America with Sean Deeb, where like the two of them throw jabs back and forth. That's one thing. But like throwing up a Twitter storm is a whole nother thing. I don't like social media stuff like that.
How do you feel about the allegations that he's actually tweeting saying he's doing bad? Like he came back and was playing a bunch of people heads up, like 1, 2, 2, 4, and getting crushed. Because initially I thought maybe, and then he just takes himself when the odds get better and just bets on himself and crushes Negreanu, makes a shit ton of money on the side bet as well. But now, even as soon as 2 days ago, he tweeted, played 10 hours of poker today and won 100K. Our powers are slowly returning. So that kind of nips that in the bud. Maybe he's just being honest, but it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, it is really interesting to watch. I do appreciate the fact that he did do that with, put out an open thing saying, I'll play against anyone, and was nice enough to play on streams with people like previous guest Matt Vaughn. So go check that out. That's a really fun stream. Yeah. So I like that he gave that opportunity to anyone and everyone at any stake. And that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yes, the fact that if he were actually using it to manipulate odds, then it's a different story. But the actual act of doing that, I think, is really nice.
Yeah, Doug Polk also called out, God, what is that kid's name? The guy being mentored by Joey Ingram. What is that kid's name?
Oh, yeah. The blonde kid.
He played him heads up, and Doug Polk absolutely, shat on him. I don't even remember his comments. Doug Polk didn't win. I actually think, he's younger. Landon Tice, and I think he's 21. That's his name. That's his name.
His name. Wow.
But yeah, anyways, I'm definitely rooting for Negreanu, but I think that's enough on that topic if we want to go ahead and introduce our amazing guest for today.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, from humble beginnings as a star pitcher, track runner, and apparently a shot player for Boston College High School, today's guest on the All In podcast will be a familiar face to our YouTube audience. Ethan, better known as Rampage Poker, is a New England poker-based blogger with over 32,000 subscribers. In case you haven't heard the news lately and have been living under a rock, he's also a newly minted WSOP bracelet winner, cashing for $164,000 after driving to New Jersey, possibly against his mother's wishes, to play in the event. Please be sure to check out all of his content on YouTube, as well as his second page, where he is Daily Nines Golf, where he's learning how to play golf too. And without further ado, please welcome Ethan to the All In Podcast.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. What an intro! You guys did your homework on that one.
I actually did not know you ran track. What events did you run? Thank you, Ryan, for doing that research.
He nailed it. I didn't run anything. I was a shot putter.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, no, he nailed that one. I should be running, but I don't know. I guess I wanted to throw balls with like people 3 times my size.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta throw your hat in the ring, man. Good for you.
Yeah. Wow, that's
awesome.
a throwback.
For sure.
It's great to have you on. Thank you so much for being on with us. We really do appreciate it. It's good to have a good New Englander. We're all class of 2019 college graduates.
I know, we're all the same age. Crazy. Yeah, thanks for the invite, dude. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
100%. Looking forward to talking to you.
So, I mean, let's just open it up with questions here. You recently appeared on literally everyone's vlog because you played some PLO with Joey Ingram, Jeff Boski, and Andrew Needy. From seeing all your vlogs, the energy at the table is super fun. And I'm curious about, there's obviously 2 other people at the table. Did these poor people know who they were sitting with? Like, did they have any idea what was going on and what was being at that table?
Yeah, I think they definitely had a clue who like Nimi. They definitely had a clue who Nimi and Joey Ingram was. Like, I feel like if you're gonna play PLO and you're in Vegas, like you should absolutely have a clue. And a few people like knew who all 4 of us were, but didn't really say much. I don't think. But there was like some friendly banter going on, and then like there was one guy that showed up drunk like at the near end of the session, and he saw like all 3 of us had our cameras and phones out, and he was like, "What the hell are you guys doing? Why are you videotaping yourself or something?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. you don't need to know." But that was a hell of a session. I got to sit to the direct right of Joe Ingram in his game, which is an experience in and of itself. But I was up for the challenge.
That's so sick.
I just finished editing that video, so that should be a good time.
Yeah, how experienced of a PLO player are you? Obviously, you just got in even poker generally, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything. That was like I think that was like my 5th or 6th live session ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was just outmatched the whole time, but it was for the experience. Like my first night there in Vegas, first time ever being in Vegas, and like I'm not gonna say no to playing with.
Oh, never. I'm excited for that banger of a video for sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, what are those guys like? I know, like you've seen all these vlogs with these people. What are Joey Ingram and Boski and Nimi like? Are they fun to hang out with?
Yeah, they're all like super fun and welcoming, which is I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, they're all super welcoming, and also like they're exactly how they are in the videos. So like everyone just shows their true selves. Joe's always super high energy, and I love it. Like he's just always on, just like in his videos. So it was cool to see like no one's like super different at all. It was exactly what you expected. If you watch the videos, then you know exactly how they are.
This wasn't even a question we had planned, but when you were in Mexico with Nimi and Owens, did you plan on that meetup, or did they reach out to you, or how did that happen?
No, so I mean, after winning the tournament, I was like very incentivized and motivated to try to play more, just because why not? And then I saw like Nimi and Owen that they went down to Cabo. I asked them like, where's like I've never traveled to Mexico before. I was like, so where's like a decent like safe spot? Like, where do you recommend? They said Cabo, and then I didn't know Cabo was such like a huge area, but we ended up like staying like 15 minutes out. So they invited me out to dinner one night, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm all for it. But definitely wasn't planned at all. I think I planned my trip maybe like a week before I actually flew out there. And that place was beautiful. I wish I could stay for longer.
That's just got to be mind-boggling. Obviously, you had this audience on YouTube, so you didn't go from just a no-name, but you go from, like, I mean, now you're a household name in the poker world, and you're hanging out with these guys who are just, like, famous. Yeah. Like, that must be surreal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, looking back from last year, I never would have expected any of this, but like it's been a fun ride for sure. But still, I'm still grinding out the 1-3s, still like testing the waters in the 2-5 games. But yeah, making the videos have been super fun.
Yeah, I think that's so smart with bankroll management because a lot of guys, if they just hit this huge score, they'll just go and jump in a 10-25 game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 5-10, like just some huge game that they're not rolled for. And
Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
I've definitely been tempted to like. I want to play like 10-20 like one time just for a video. Just like I think it'd be a really cool video. But outside of that, like no, definitely not ready for any of that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, shot taking obviously is fine, but do what you're comfortable with and just keep crushing. Because it sounds like during like once COVID started, your graph is just shot up playing. Like, do you play? Is it 6 or 7-handed there?
It's 6-handed in New Hampshire, which has been a blessing because I think it just I don't know the way that I play 6-handed is just like made for it. I think, and it's gone really well. Definitely no complaints. Been running really well too. I think I started off like the first 3 sessions playing 6-handed when COVID, post-COVID, I had like 4 quads or something crazy like that. So it's been a good time for sure.
That's awesome.
I think 6-handed was like a blessing out of COVID. There's one good thing out of it. It's 6-handed poker.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I definitely prefer short-handed. I mean, especially live poker online when you can play multiple tables. I mean, you can just play like 10 9-handed and just not even worry about it. But if you're playing live and you're only playing like a few hands an hour, you get bored out of your mind. You can open up ranges, splash around. Yeah, I definitely love the 6-7-handed feel. But,
and the leg room, like people don't understand.
Room.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Like, sitting 9-handed at a poker table, like you have to be concerned about the people to your left and your right because you're going to be smelling them. 100%.
Yeah, you get your whole section. You can spread out.
There's guys who will sprawl out and like watch Netflix or eat or something and just like do not give a fuck about their space. It's so funny.
In Vegas, they had like the plexiglass, and you have basically it's all sectioned out, and you could literally just have like 3 waters on the table. You have like an iPad to the right, and you still have room for like doing whatever you want. It's literally just like you like make yourself your own little home. And you're good to go.
Yeah, I think I've seen like pictures of people like playing cash game tables, but then having their phone up playing another table online.
Yep. Oh
it's
yeah.
Like, wow.
I don't like those people. If you're there to play live poker, play live poker. But anyways, moving into our next question. I know you've only been playing poker for about 2 years. Did it take winning a bracelet for your family to take poker seriously as a career option for you, or were they all in behind you the whole time? Because I'd love to hear your story on why you decided to lie to your mom. But yeah, you ended up driving to New Jersey, I believe, if that's correct, to play this event. And then after you won, you told her. I'm sure that was a nice surprise for her, but also she was probably pretty mad at her son for lying to her face. So take us through that.
100%. So from my perspective, I think like Asian families fall into 2 like routes. Either like they're very all about gambling or they're not. They're like super anti-gambling, and there's like no in between. So unfortunately, my family falls into the anti part, which may be a blessing. I don't know, but here I am anyways playing poker all the time. So initially, like there's like so much pushback because I think like I was playing a lot my senior year. No one found out, like no one knew until like I was like I just wanted to justify a little bit. Like, hey, I'm making these videos. I'm playing poker. Just so you know, I'm spending a lot of time doing this, but very against it the whole time, just because it's obviously very unstable. It falls into the gambling realm. So tons of pushback, even up to this point, where I think like when I won the tournament, I just shot my mom a quick text like, hey, this is what happened.
You texted her? You didn't even call her? Hey, mom, I just won like $160K.
Yeah, like, the first thing she said was, don't lose it and don't get robbed. So I was like,
that's
all
so
right.
Funny.
Mom thinks I'm going to drive up with a dump truck full of cash and just pull it out.
Exactly. So exactly. I was like, this is not how it works, but it's fine. Thanks. So yeah, I mean, there's still like pushback against it just because my family's very against the whole idea, but it's more so like he's doing fine for now. Let him do his thing. Just don't get bankrupt or anything like that, and don't lose it all. So which I don't intend on doing, playing 1-3, but weirder things have happened. But yeah, that's kind of how that story was. But I think, I drove down there just to like take a shot, and it's really dumb. I mean, I had to win the tournament. My mom had to find out. Like my plan was foolproof. But then I had to win the tournament. I had to tell her something.
Everything went wrong.
You poor man. You poor man. I've got to say, though, that was definitely an amazing celebration. While it was no Ryan DePaulo, I'm the best in a Whole Foods parking lot, it definitely takes a close second. It was
you
awesome
definitely
to see
can't
just
top
the raw
that.
emotion. Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Definitely cannot beat him timing out every hour to reconnect to like the Whole Foods free Wi-Fi or
Pissing in
whatever.
a bottle, man. That's so
Oh,
sick.
multiple bottles there. Oh my god.
You
Like
did it right. I think you did it right. You took out an Airbnb in Hoboken and you had like a comfortable place to sit. Like, you should plan in advance before you do it. Don't do it in a car because you could theoretically spend 9 hours and win a bracelet. That's a long time.
that is definitely an option. Definitely one of the ways that could have gone. But yeah, I made that trip just like, hey, I'll live stream, I'll punt like $2,000 on like 4 or 5 buy-ins, call it a weekend. But it went well.
That's
So,
awesome, yeah.
Made really good
Totally,
content.
totally props to you, though, for just going against your family a little bit. We both have actually experienced pushback, Ryan more so than me. Once my parents saw some results and saw that I was actually taking it really seriously, and I'd even like break down a hand for them and be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Look, like I've put in the time. Like there are downswings, but I'm gonna do this. Support me or don't." Ryan, what has your experience been with your parents'
They've
pushback?
really been way more supportive now. Like they're watching, I think, right now. I think my dad, or at least my dad.
There you go, Ethan.
Shane.
So I guess I'm saying, like my parents have definitely come around to a certain degree about it because they understand that, like, the three of us have put some thought into how to do this the right way without losing all of our money or going broke in this and literally going bankrupt. Like none of us are going to do that and I think to a certain degree it's because our parents raised us that way. So thanks, Mom and Dad. We appreciate you.
Yeah, so we all kind of experienced the same thing. It's just like, just don't lose it all. It's fine. It's more so just like, I think like the instability of it all. Like obviously they just want like stability and like a full-time gig, and this obviously is not stable or anything, but
there's a lot.
All right, Ryan, you want the next question?
Absolutely. So you've actually been banned from the Two Rivers Casino in Rhode Island. MGM Springfield has given you some garbage about posting the vlogs online. Are there any casinos in New England that you actually recommend to people?
Boston Billiard. They're the only casino that I play there right now in New Hampshire. They're the only ones that like invited me out and was like, hey, you can absolutely record it, do whatever you want. We have no issues with it. Which is amazing. It's all I wanted. Yeah. I mean, I got banned from Twin River. I got backlash from MGM. Got backlash from Encore because I was trying to make those videos too. Recording in Massachusetts, I guess, is super strict about it, and so is the Win. Shout out to Ryan's mom. But yeah, I think New Hampshire, there's no laws about recording, so they're obviously very open to it, and they thought it was a good opportunity to kind of get the name out there of the place, which it is. So I think the New Hampshire rooms now have been doing really well because no other casinos or poker rooms are open, so everyone's just going up there. But yeah, they really embrace the whole idea, which is nice.
Yeah, obviously this might not be a goal of yours because I think you just do it out of loving content, but you probably get some money out of them in the future as you continue to blow up on YouTube and in the poker community.
Yeah,
so that's a nice perk as well.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
But anyways, I saw that you have done some giveaways recently. What inspired that? Did you just feel like you had an obligation to give back to the community? Obviously, you're a young guy and you're not sitting on tons of money. Obviously, you have this nice little egg. But what inspired you to do these giveaways?
Are you returning to like the $5,000 one?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that one was interesting. So one, like I'm young, I live at home, don't really have that many expenses right now. And I feel like I don't need the 160K as badly as other people do. It's like I mean, I thought like 5,000 was enough to just be like, thank you for the support. Also, I never would have gone out to New Jersey to begin with if I didn't have like the following and support that I have right now. That was literally just for content, just for like, I think like people would enjoy this. And then I kind of run into like a really great spot. So with COVID and everything, like people were struggling, and I thought like people could use at least $1,000 like here and there to help out. So that was really cool. And then like I saw like a few months earlier, something like that, Brad Owen did a giveaway on Twitter to a few of his fans, and I thought that was a really good idea. So especially with like how like hurt like the poker community, dealers, everything like that are, especially up here or everywhere really. I thought that it could like help out, people that support me. Like, here you go. Like
That's
I think,
awesome, man.
Yeah, like you guys could use it more than I did as like a 23-year-old that has no expenses.
Yeah.
If you guys want to support Ethan and his content creation, he actually also sells clothing as well as just chips. I think it's only $5 to purchase a Rampage poker chip if you guys need a card protector. So definitely support him.
That's great. Yeah, I also
sure.
wanted to ask. Actually, I wanted to take you back to the bracelet run for a second. And I've heard you talk about your live chat and yourself was kind of a little bit important to us. Can you take us through the phases of this run? Like I can imagine hour over hour, it just kind of starts to dawn on you that this is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. And like I've heard you say before that like top 15, it started getting really real for you. Was that like the turning point where it was just like this is getting crazy?
Yeah, like I was hanging out the whole time up until maybe top 40. Like I was like hanging out with the chat. Like the chat also was like super active and things were going crazy. Like someone was just donating like $40-50 because I was giving away a chip every $5 donation. So that was going on. I had to call out random people. I was like being very active with the chat, and that was always a good time. And then it got to like top 40. I got a text from a good buddy, Jamie of mine, and he was like,
looking at it.
"You should probably just focus on the game, then they would understand." And I was like,
I saw
Good idea. We'll try.
I saw people shit talking you in the chat a little. They're like, "Man, pay attention."
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
There was one raise you made from the button with Ace 10 offsuit where you goaded the chat too. You were like looked at them, and then you raised with Ace 10 off, and the blinds folded, and the chat just blew up. They're like, Ace 10 off. What are you doing? And you were just
it was amazing.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing the whole time. So the chat was cool to get like instant feedback if I ever make a mistake. That was like really nice. I think that was like the biggest thing. And they also told me like who was on my table, who were like the studs and crushers. So that was cool to just kind of help navigate around the whole tournament. But yeah, the chat was like very helpful. And then top 15, I was like, there's a 1 in 15 chance that I could win. And I was like second or third in chip or something like that. And just thought like there was a chance and we'll try, but we'll see.
So how much do you now have the tournament bug now that you have quite literally won a bracelet literally 2 years into your poker career?
Yeah, I love it. I think like literally the second, so I stayed an extra day in New Jersey to play the other tournament. I was going to make a deep run, but like the whole time I was playing that, I just wanted to win again. So I love it. I'm hooked on it. Definitely going to like Vegas, the next WSOP series or whenever it is, to fire at least a little bit in those and just kind of test the waters. But
I'll buy you a drink, man. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
We'll be there.
I think I'm like super hungry for the next win. Although as someone that doesn't have any idea how to play tournaments, haven't studied tournaments at all, that's going to be kind of tough. But anything can happen.
Insane running into you at New England poker tournaments from now on.
I think it's so cool. I mean, obviously you're being so humble. You have to have some knowledge to literally. I know it's funny. His Instagram bio is literally, "I luck boxed a tournament." Obviously you ran well, but like you have some background of poker.
No,
so you gotta.
No, I really don't. I really don't have any idea.
No, honestly,
you're better than Jonathan Little.
I have gone back and watched your initial videos, though, Ethan, and just your thought process and the way you talk about hands has completely transformed.
Why would you put yourself through that torture of watching that video?
No, go back. If you go back and watch my first poker vlog, I've been more in the podcasting world. It is cringy. It is just cringy, man. You have to start somewhere, and obviously, it's worked out for you, and hopefully you continue to put in the work, and you gotta give yourself some credit. It's awesome.
Yeah, those videos are really cringy. Shout out to you for sticking through those. Oh my god.
I thought it was so funny. You recently called out someone on your Instagram who claimed to have been subscribed for a while. He's like, "Oh man, I've been subscribed since day one." He goes back and looks. He's like, "Look, man, you've been subscribed for about 3 months. Don't kid yourself."
Like, appreciate for the 3 months, but like you're exposed right here and there.
Oh, it's so funny.
That's great. I love that. You guys want to do the hand?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll pull it up quick.
Oh my god, you guys brought this up earlier. I was so I don't
stress you out a little bit.
There's a lot of hands there.
We're going over it.
It's a hand from your birthday. Do you want to give any more background from that, Ryan?
Yeah, this one. I think as soon as you see you're holding it.
Oh, this one
my
sucked.
God. Oh, we're ready.
We'll get to what happens in the end, but I really respect the play. So shall we begin here? Start moving around. I think.
Do you want the background, Ryan?
I mean, it's his birthday. We're playing 2-5.
And we're on the button.
On the button, and there's 3. Or sorry.
Wait, we're not on the button. Big blind. Sorry, I apologize. Oh, that makes this play even more funny. All right, so we wake up in the big blind, cut off limps, button limps, small blind checks, and yeah. What are we thinking here with the good old ace 10 off, Ethan?
It's a hand for sure.
It's 2 cards.
There were I think there's at least one more limp. That's why I made it 45. But regardless, doesn't change a whole lot. Ace 10 off, I felt like out of position definitely can squeeze. Limpers can be pretty weak, I think, usually open limping. So figured like why not push the variance a little bit and try to take down some of the dead money. And it was very early on in the session, so I love punting. And yeah, that was it.
No, I think it's fine. Knowing there's another limper, I like the 45 more than if it was just 3 players in front of you. Yeah, I mean, you don't expect people, especially in late position, to just be limping like premium hands all too often. So I think it's fine. Worst case scenario, you ISO someone or go probably 3-handed, and yeah, I think it's fine.
Right.
So button calls and heads up.
You know, we're not super happy about checking the big blind and going 4 ways with ace 10. So thinning the field with a raise like this, I really like.
Absolutely.
And you're going to have so much barrel ability on flops and turns.
Let's see a flop. All right, good old 9-7-5 rainbow. What are you thinking here as actions on you?
Horrible flop. Just the worst flop. Smashes button limp calling range for sure, like all the time. So like ace 10 off, you have absolutely nothing going for me. Just out of position too, just like checking and usually just giving up on most runouts.
Yeah, so as we're just breaking down the hand, I've watched podcasts and you talk about how you haven't really done much coaching or hand history lounge, stuff of that nature. Have you read many books or watched a ton of poker content? Like, how did you even get to know like these different poker terms?
I watched a lot of poker vlogs and then I forced myself to like try to use them in my videos, and I had no first year I had no idea what like half of the poker terms meant, but I used it in the videos.
Did you misuse them often and get roasted for it?
All the time, I think. Yeah, I literally found out like I think like a year in or something. There's like a long time in that like there's a difference between trips and a set, and someone called me out for it. And I was like, I'm an idiot, but you learn from the comment section.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, good to know. Anyways, back to the head. So we decided to check it over, and the button checks back. Are you surprised at all that the button checks when this smashes his range, or not really?
Big time. Big time. Expected some sort of a bet there because I feel like it like has to just connect with them so often, but. I mean, sometimes like queen jack off, queen jack suited hand could be there, something like that. But I expected a bet very often. But this was like very player dependent because I played with her a few times.
Okay, so you played with this reg before.
Yeah.
And I don't expect like 2 suited cards here that often either. Like I expect like queen jack off or something like that because we also have to think about the fact that they're limping. So I mean, I think sets of 5s are really likely. Well, I mean, checking back, I don't really know what checks back on this flop. Like, I agree with you.
I don't want to condense their range too much, because for all we know, they could have like a 10-7, 9-6 suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
This player was pretty not tight, but like solid enough where like you could put her on a good holding, I guess, or like good enough, like playable holding. Yeah. So there's no like trash in there. There's no like 6-9 off or 6-9 suit stuff like that.
Good to know. Yeah. Okay.
Good enough.
That's good to know.
Okay.
All right. So we pick up open ender here on the turn.
Yeah, like I said,
are we gonna bet our equity, or do we decide to check it over?
Yeah, I said I was gonna give up on most runouts, and that's a runout that we're not giving up on anymore.
No.
So
no way.
Yeah, open ended, 2 overs, and she checked back. So I figured, like, although it's super more connected now, like 6s can be in that range to check back on the flop. Like that's about it. So just throw out a bet with some equity, not expecting to be good here.
Yeah.
Not that. Yeah, I'm not betting like for value, but betting like a it's just a bet. I don't
So
really
do you
know.
plan on most rivers to size up and bet big? Because when she checks this flop, she shouldn't have, I mean, too many nines or that many good hands. Do
Right.
you plan, if she just flats you here, to just barrel river?
It depends on the run out. Like, I still think that her range is so connected with this board, regardless of what happens. Like, 8-7 could be a thing, you know. A lot of
Right.
2-pair combos that if she's gonna call, then I'm expecting mainly 2-pair combos. I think sixes would even raise here for sure in this spot.
100%.
I agree.
So like 10, like one pair, I feel like 10-9 is probably gonna be betting flop, but I'm really putting on like some sort of 8-7 hand. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and on river, it might, I mean, obviously it's very river dependent, but it might be scary to just barrel huge because we don't have many sixes here at all. And even
Yeah,
though they
absolutely
did
none.
check flop, like they could check flop with a lot of sixes, obviously just a gut shot hit.
Right.
But yeah, let's see. And she just
I
decides
also
on the
think
call.
I also think on this turn that if the turn is like a club or something that gives like an obvious backdoor draw, like especially a club, if this were the 8 of clubs, I think it would be the best card in the deck for us to bet on, because then we can also barrel on club rivers and look respectable. Like, at
I
this
agree.
point, we'd be barreling a turn knowing that there are rivers that we're going to bluff on, and there are rivers that we're going to value bet on, and there are less rivers that we're going to shut down on. I don't like this one as much because I don't think there are as many rivers where we can reputably bluff if we don't get there. That's my 10 cents.
I
Makes
agree.
sense. All right, let's see a river. And the river is a deuce ball, just complete brick.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's what we're looking for. So what are you thinking for sizing when this bricks out and she's just been so passive in this hand?
Like I said, I think I just for some reason I narrowly put her on some sort of suited connector hand. Whether it be like now thinking about it, like 6-7 could be in there too. But
Yep.
anyways, more so weighted towards 2 pairs and given like the action. So I feel like there's no way like me betting here is ever gonna induce a fold, just from the narrow range that I put the opponent on. But I decided to check. But let me know what you guys think about this one.
I think, yeah, so when you bet turn, I think the question isn't her mind, is what the hell are you betting? Like, what are you repping on this board? If you have an overpair, like, why would you not bet flop? Do we have some trash that we're raising with, like ace-8? I mean, we could have a 10-jack suited, something of that nature, but I think that also bets flop, you know what I mean, with backdoor equity and a gut shot. Well, it depends, unless it was obviously hearts. But yeah, I think it checks here. I don't know. I think it's just so player dependent that I can't give you a straightforward answer. But I expect if she's calling turn that she should be calling a lot of rivers unless you bet big. I think there's no point in putting another small $60, $70 bet. If you're going to bet, I think you have to bet in the sizing of 130 to pot. So I think a check's fine to give up and just go with the less variance approach. But
yeah, I
don't
found
know. I like to
fold.
barrel.
Okay.
I mean,
just because it was very player dependent, I found no fold
it's just
in this hand.
Yeah, the issue is, what are you repping? If this is a sticky opponent who you 100% thinks is calling this turn to call this river, because that's what they should be doing, obviously, then I like your check. I think it's just player dependent.
Like, I feel like also sometimes, so not, this isn't with this specific player, but like I feel like a lot of the times too, the other person can have a lot of king 10, queen 10s that are going to be calling the turn.
Yeah, and you're good, ace high.
And I think ace high is going to be good too. So there's just like, I didn't see a point
in betting because you think they call it. Yeah, that's completely sound logic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like checking to maybe induce a bluff or checking, and then so we can continue with the hand.
I think we can fold out a hand like ace-5 if we bet here. But I think a lot of sevens call. I mean, what do we have? So yeah, I'm assuming we
seven, like a pair of sevens would call.
100%. If you bet, I mean, if you bet small again, if you bet like $80 to $90, I'm snapping you off with a 7 here. I guess it depends on what it is, but
like,
just
there
given
are no sevens,
how you bet.
Yeah.
Because the sevens are 7-8, 7-9, 6-7, stuff like that are nutted. Yeah, that's a great point. Do you think she ever has a hand like ace 7 offsuit that she would play on the button? No,
Not
interesting.
even close.
Oh wow, that's a pretty because on the button. I mean, if it limps, no, I'd probably either
Right, a limping range.
But interesting.
I think a lot of I put on a lot of sets, 2 pairs, and like king 10, queen 10 suited.
I play with a lot of donkeys who king 7 suited will call on the button.
Yeah.
So
this person wasn't a donkey, unfortunately.
Yeah, then I like the check 100%. I think you made the right decision. So when she bets 125, I'm assuming you're just snap folding unless you decide to just put in a massive raise. I don't remember this vlog. What do we do?
Next button and see what happens there, buddy guy.
Oh my god! I mean, that's amazing. I love it. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. And
you guys love it? Okay.
I think this would have been much better. I think this would have been much better had the turn been a club. Then
I agree. Because 10 Jack, I think, is incentivized to slow play when you check that flop. So I think she's either hella nutted, like she either has a set, a straight, or nothing here. I don't even think I don't know. I don't know if I love it. I only love it because
I don't think
you're nutted more than she is. She has more 6s, but I think you just have so many like 10 Jack suiteds and stuff of that nature that decides to squeeze. Because on the button, that is it. Yeah, that's it. It's such a small range.
That's the problem. Is that if we had gotten that club backdoor, we could have wrapped all the club draws as well, and there's so much more that she's losing to.
When I say I love it, I love it. I love it because it's funny. I don't necessarily think it's the best play in the world because if you have a set of say 9s or 8s, like there's 4 to a straight on the board and she has all the 6s. Like you can't really profitably raise to 400, which like I don't actually like it. Even though I said I love it, I don't think you should do it. I think you should just fold here
for sure,
because
of the sizing that she took.
I think she's calling you here just so frequently.
I think easy call. She was only I felt like I could fold out 2 pairs, I think.
I agree.
Player dependent, I knew that was for value, which is an issue just because of how she played. So it was always like that was always a bet for value, just dependent on how thin it was, whether it was gonna be top 2 pair like 8-7 or something like that, or it was sets, pocket 6s. Never really put her on a nutted Jack 10 hand because I had some 10s there. So
you block it.
So
it's just really interesting. Man.
It was ambitious, but she had top set. Unfortunately,
I can't believe that she.
I mean, she's just never ever folding this.
Thought about it. Made her think about it.
Did she tank?
She tanked for like at least a minute. Yeah.
Wow, she put in a full 60-second tank. Damn, you really put her in a spot then. I mean,
you gotta put people in tricky spots.
Did you show your hand? I actually don't think I've seen this vlog specifically. So did you just table it immediately?
Yeah, I tailed like a call, and she said out loud, "I only lose to Jack 10." And then
you were like, "Oh no, this is."
I was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna go well." I was still thinking. I was like, "Can you just call already? Like, come on, you know you're calling."
Who's playing down the set here?
Yeah, I mean, exactly Ryan's comment on like it's just a rainbow board, 4 to a straight. While I just love aggression in general.
Okay,
but this is not the spot to do it. But I'm sure you got some comments in the YouTube chat on this one.
Yeah. It was a learning experience. We were experimenting with this, and this one didn't go our way.
That's fine. Exactly.
Every session's a learning experience. I have done some donkey shit that Ryan has just texted me like, "What the hell was that?" But it happens.
Yeah. I like broadcasting these ones too because it's just good content for people to talk about. And
I love that. And in a recent Brad Owen vlog, he folded the Ace King, which was a pretty nitty fold, which I'm not folding there.
Near the bubble with Tremor or something like that.
Yeah. And I just love that he decided to put it out there. He said he thought about not doing it because people both sides of the coin might just yell at him like, "Oh, why would you think about calling? Like, why would you fold?" Obviously, more so, why would you fold? But I just like that you guys are not afraid to put out this content and not afraid to look stupid sometimes. There's just no way you're going to be a winning poker player if you aren't constantly trying new things. There's just no way. the game is constantly evolving, and very much appreciate just your transparency in your results, transparency in your game, and yeah, just keep the content going, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I started with with the videos. I was like my fifth poker session ever. So there, obviously I did everything wrong, and like that's just the way that I learned was through the comment section. So just keep that theme alive of posting mistakes out there. It's always fun to do so.
And you more so than any other vlogger that I've watched has just talked about how just putting yourself out there and having those comments, like basically those comments help coach you. Like I'm sure it's helped adjust your game in a sense. Whereas I feel like Nimi, when he started the vlog, was deep into his career and probably was like, shut the hell up to some of these people. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, 100%. There's a lot of trolls in the comment section, but like, I don't know, like comment section literally is my coach with poker this whole time. And it's gone pretty well so far. So like super, like I just love like posting all that crap out there.
For sure.
All the embarrassing ones.
Do you have any final questions, Ryan, before we wrap up?
From a man here. Thank you so much, Ethan, for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. It's good to get another
joining me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ethan. I'm sure we'll meet up sometime in person, crush some games together. But in the meantime, keep producing content and keep crushing, man.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys keep coming with keep producing the podcast. It's a good time.
For sure. Appreciate it. Have a good one, Ethan.
You guys have a good night.
That was a good one. Obviously a little more relatable in the sense that he's just our age. Whereas
I couldn't believe that when I was like, he's a class of 2019. Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm almost embarrassed to some people to tell my age. In the home game that I was playing with Chad and them, I'm the youngest, and they always make fun of me. They're like, bro, like, how are you only 23 years old? I'm like, how are you firing these stakes just fearlessly, man? I'm just like, I don't know.
We're doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever happens, man. So this next hand, I believe, is your hand. Do you want to give us some insight into what's happening? Yeah, 3060 streets.
I don't know why the pot has that weird air on easy hand review.
Ignore it.
Ignore that. Yeah. So we're playing 3060. I've been doing some multi-tabling with micro stakes, and it's been going really well. Doing like drilling on stuff and really working on like 6-handed ranges, which is really fun. You get to play a little more wide, a little more loose. So if you'll begin the action here, it's gonna.
You know, Ryan, this does not have 6 people on this table. Simple counting skills.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just giving you shit, man.
Yeah.
All right, back to it.
That's my fault. But it doesn't matter because it will fold around to the cutoff. Who is going to make an open here? I don't have many notes on cutoff, to be honest.
You're gonna 3-bet him.
I'm 100% 3-betting here. Yes, Ace-9 suited, especially in this configuration against a cutoff open, I think it's a pretty slam dunk 3-bet. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can mix in some flats here. I think especially if you know the blinds are particularly nitty and aren't going to call because you don't want to really go 3 ways with this hand. But other than that, I really think this is pretty much a slam dunk 3-bet to isolated position.
Yeah, I'm 3-betting this all the time.
I think that's, yeah, exactly.
100%. I like the sizing. It's fine.
Yep.
Especially with only 2 people to get through.
Exactly.
He's going to call, yeah. That's all right. Yeah, pretty good flop. Villain decides to check. Makes sense. What are you thinking here on this rainbow board flopping top pair?
Yeah, here's where I make a pretty big mistake, where I think I just took a glance at this board and said it was coordinated enough for me to make a sizable C-bet. And in hindsight, that's just not right. Like, even if it were like 9 queen ace and like jack 10 had an open-ended straight draw, it would be more reasonable. But pretty much all the draws here are gut shots. So they don't have a whole lot of equity and don't want to call large bets. And we want the gut shots to be calling, and we want the backdoor draws, single pair draws, like 8x of diamonds, 8x of hearts, queen x of hearts to be calling here. So
you're scaring me a little. I have not seen. I always make a point to try to not look at our hands before the podcast. What the hell do you size this to? Oh no!
Yeah.
What are you doing? All right.
I really don't. I don't really have a.
That's a massive bet.
Too big. Yeah. I don't think we should be going anything. I think half pot's too much. You know, I think half pot is like the cap here.
Half pots. Yeah, I agree. Half pot should be your cap on this board.
At that point.
Yeah.
It's a losing money play to bet this size in here.
I think $4 to $5 is completely the move.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I'm assuming he's just got you crushed. But all right, he calls. I mean, he could be calling with some weak aces that decide to open wheel aces. But yeah, I mean, what are we putting on that we're scared of? Obviously, he's got something decent, pair plus. Because like you said, what draws are there? Do we expect him to call with a king jack of diamonds, king jack of hearts? It's a pretty big bet if we're calling that. I mean, yeah, we've got backdoor equity and we could peel one, but do you expect him to call something like that, or no? You just only expect him to call
because I don't
queens plus.
Dylan, I don't know. I don't really know against this particular.
I agree. I 100%. A check on this is fine too, because then you can definitely get value from basically all pairs.
Exactly, and I think that's just not what I was thinking about. I was just thinking I flop top pair. What am I going to get value from?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you have to bet here either. I think that's completely worth mentioning from Curtis. I was just talking about if you do decide to bet, which I personally do see bet at a pretty high frequency. But yeah, turns an ace. You're probably feeling a little better about your hand here, but
feeling much better about my hand now.
Okay. What are you looking to size when the ace comes out? Obviously, there's backdoor diamonds, so just need a diamond for the flush. But yeah, what are you thinking about sizing? You size flop pretty damn big. Are you going to size up huge on the turn?
No, I think I actually go somewhere around like half pot-ish here, and which isn't.
That's a weird play.
It's a weird play too, because I don't really know what I'm representing when I go half pot here, and I think that when I go half pot here, like I don't know, like because an ace has come on the turn, it should be technically therefore less likely that I have an ace in my hand. So, if he has a queen, I guess he's incentivized to call. And obviously, as he's picked up backdoor diamonds, he's going to call. But I don't know.
If he's got king, queen, jack, queen, don't you think you could bet fairly large and him call anyway? Obviously, I mean, you have a ton of aces, but at the same time, there's two aces staring at the board. Like, if you're going to bet big on that flop, I don't know. It's weird because what is he calling you with? Do we think he has a better ace? I think he totally reasonably could a decent percentage of the time. But I don't like going half pot once you decide to bet so big on the flop.
I think it's an interesting thing too because you have to look at how much he has behind. Like we don't have
100%.
There's already a lot in the pot.
Oh no.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly. This is why I say this is interesting because as soon as I bet this amount and he shoves on me, I'm just.
This is the thing. I like betting bigger because I honestly think you can fold. If you bet bigger, then I think you can fold. Because does he have diamonds here ever? No. Does he have a queen here ever? No. I think the only question is, does he have a better ace than you or not? And it's interesting because the hand I sent you literally today. I got raised. I should have pulled that hand. I was playing a big game, and basically the board paired on the turn, and he had three of a kind, but I had a straight. And why am I talking about this hand? I'll talk about it next time. Anyways, I agree. It smells like ace jack or eights all day. I don't expect him to have ace king because we can expect that to repop you pre a decent percentage of the time. Obviously, you could flat thinking that you're just doing it wide, but I expect him to put in another reason. I think this screams ace jack or eights because I just don't think that a wheel ace, there is no reason to raise this turn. Why is he raising this turn? He's either raising it to price a diamond or get you to call with the worst ace. There's just no. I fold this.
I agree.
I'm assuming you call. It's tough to lay down this, but
I agree with you. I think in the moment, what I was thinking about was that could worth aces make this move, and I said yes, and I think that's wrong.
Sometimes, I think you're right. I think sometimes they can, and I think in some games we play in, I can name a ton of players off the top of my head who are but a good, solid, honestly, a decent player does not raise with anything that doesn't have you beat.
Yeah.
And I think just the vast majority of the time against competent players, this is a fold. I agree. I lean towards him having ace jack suited, probably ace jack clubs here. But yeah, I think you could have pocket eights here too. Ace 10. Wow. Okay.
I think that's really interesting because I totally agree with you. I think those are the two hands because I think that was the problem with my thought process because I was like, all right, ace king or ace queen, I guess I expect to 4-bet a decent percentage of the time. So then the only two aces that are therefore beating me are ace jack and ace 10. So then what worse aces could make this move? And I was like, could ace 8 through ace deuce make this move? And I think I just weighted it too evenly. You know, where I said that he could have ace 8 down. In reality, you're right. I agree. I thought it.
I think it's good that this hand happened at the micro stakes. And
exactly. A lesson learned for sure.
Yeah. All right. I won't beat you up too much on that one, but I think it's good that you have the self-awareness of why I wasn't.
Look at that one and be like, oh, yeah.
And I mean, let's look at it. When you're playing in the moment, I think this is so huge, and I think this is something that Blake, my coach, talks about all the time, just the importance of implementation. You might be able to sit here all day long and go through hand histories, but you have to implement it in game, in table, and actually do the right decisions, or you're just going to punt.
Hard.
I wouldn't say this is a punt, but it was a fold, and we know it's a fold now, and we'll move on, and that's it. All right, let's pull up another hand. This is another Ryan hand. Is this 30-60 streets as well? Yes, it is.
Oh,
All
look
right,
at that.
got some Cowboys. Let's see what's good. All right, we just decide a 3x open under the gun, which is fine. Especially
standard in this particular club to be 3x. I started out opening 4x like I normally would, and I was just getting all folds, just like literally every single time. I don't know why, but for some reason they just have a mental block against 4x in this.
I think it's worth mentioning 6-handed versus 9-handed. I actually do like, especially early position. I 3-handed or 3x is fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's an important point.
All right, we got a call from the button, and we're going heads up to a flop.
Button is a special friend. We've seen him do some stuff on this table, and he's run up a bit of a stack because he had recently gotten, I think, like he'd gotten like aces in against queens or something pre-flop, and had run up a pretty big stack. Oh, and he was having a great time. He was enjoying himself. He was playing lots of hands, so definitely a loose, aggressive opponent. So on a 10-10 deuce flop here, I'm definitely going to be betting. I actually bet the same side.
What do you mean? When you say definitely, this is one of the few boards that I'd consider checking. While there's a flush draw, he has way more tens than you, obviously. And what is he gonna call you? Yeah, I think you could get a call from ace high a decent percentage of the time, but you also block the flush draw in the sense you're holding the king of diamonds. If you're holding 2 black kings, I think it's a c-bet a ton of the time. I think that holding the king of diamonds actually is worth noting. I don't think a c-bet's horrible by any means, because I think you can get overcards to call you. Right. But I mean, it's 10-10 deuce 2 diamonds, and you're holding
the king of diamonds. Yeah, that's an important note.
So I'm interested. I'm assuming you size pretty small. Yeah, that's fine.
Pretty tiny.
Okay, he raises you. Do you think he's just range bullying you? We've talked about this concept a ton recently because I love to do it to you. I love to just range bully you, especially on flops. If you bet a flop like this, I'm raising you like a huge frequency. Actually, I'm not actually on this board, because if I have a 10, you think I just call, so I'm calling. That was a bad example. But, do you think he's range bullying you here, or what do you think's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think he can have a lot of garbage here. I think he can have plenty of draws, 2 overs. There's a lot of hands that he can possess here. And like I said, because he's a loose, aggressive player, there's a lot more than just a 10 that's raising here.
Yeah. Okay, what's raising?
That's what I just said. I said 2 overs, things with a diamond.
Gotcha.
Draw,
yeah. Do you think a hand like 7-8 of diamonds obviously shouldn't raise here, but do you think he's raising here with a hand like that?
Yes, I had seen him raise with lower.
Oh, this is fun. Okay, so 6 of diamonds. Did you perceive this to be a good or bad card for you?
I didn't perceive it to be a good card at the time. I mean, yeah, I think the key point has come in that I do have the king of diamonds in my hand, and I do have the second nut flush draw at this point, and he's a just caller from the button, so I don't really know what ace-x of diamonds that he really should have here at this point. So, I mean, I guess he can have, like...
What do you mean? Ace-3, Ace-4, Ace-5 of diamonds? Why is that not in his range? Because I
would yeah, I guess it's true, because it is an under-the-gun open, so he should be flatting with a decent portion of his suited aces on the button.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, he can have plenty of suited aces.
So I'm assuming you put in the check here when the diamond comes out. Yeah, and I'm assuming you're putting in the check call. He's probably sizing to 15-16. I love myself.
Wow,
I have not looked at this hand. Anyways... I'm assuming there's nothing we do here but call. If we raise, that's just stupid. You can't fold. I don't think there's much to say other than I think you're probably behind here most of the time. What is he bluffing with? That's not. I mean, I don't think he's spazzing with 2 overs. Because if he's spazzing with 2 overs, you would think at the very minimum he has the ace or queen of diamonds in his hand.
Right.
If Like, he has to, hopefully, if he has any resemblance of a brainstem. Anyways, we're gonna flat. Yep. I don't think there's much discussion. And yeah, I'm assuming you probably donk check call. But we'll see what you do. 26 and the 52, he's letting you a great price. You're gonna call. That's the end of the story.
Right.
He probably has a flush.
That's the absolute problem here is that he's betting like he's betting half pot. Like
he's not bluffing here. He's not bluffing here.
You don't think he's bluffing?
If he's bluffing here, I'm shook. Do you think he literally bets only half pot if he has like just the ace of diamonds? Because what are you showing up here that calls the turn with? What do you have?
Kings?
Having the ace of diamonds, yeah, but is he putting you exactly on kings or queens with the queen of diamonds? Like, I think you're beat. I'm sure you toss in the call. Oh my god! I'm just gonna shut up. You take the analysis away. I look like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this guy was more wild at the tables, and I think this is a place where I agree with you. I think his entire raising range on the flop got there on the turn, or it should have at least. And that on a brick river like this, I don't know. I think when he put in the $26 sizing, I didn't think it was for value. I thought that the flush would see polarize against the rip and go larger for value. You know, why would ace 9 of diamonds not go for max value on this river?
I think the most important thing to note is that he's a loose aggressive player. Because when you say why would he go for half pot value, this is what I would size against you with the nuts. I would not size up huge. This is exactly what I would size. Because what are you holding? Because I expect you to be holding the ace, king, king, queen of diamonds. And aside from if you have king, queen of diamonds, like that's like one combo. Like you're not opening king, jack of diamonds. 6-handed you might. But yeah, I think it's worth noting just that he's a loose aggressive player, and they tend to go for hella value on rivers where they have good hands. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he laid you amazing odds. You made the call. I agree with Curtis 100%. This is a losing call to most players, but against someone like this,
against a special opponent, I think you can put in this call. But I do agree. I think against someone like you, I would put in the bet on the flop. I'd get raised. The diamond turn would come in, and then I'd just probably check and look to give up there.
Yeah, I am not going to bed if this player is still on the table. Nice call.
I agree with the losing call in the long term.
If you're playing this against me and I play the hand this way, do not call this river. I have it. I am not laying you those odds if I don't have it.
You don't have it. Exactly.
Wow. I like looking dumb on the podcast sometimes though. Wow, you've got 2 more. Oh, you've got 1 more. Okay, good. We've got our boy Curtis's hand, and we're right on schedule for the timing. Hopefully wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. But all right, let's pull her up. I have not looked at this hand because I will make Ryan do it. And I like to look at it live. All right, so we are in the big blind, and there's a straddle. We love this 5-10-20 game. Anyways, let's see what happens. Did he note if this was a home game or in the casino? I think it was a home game. Probably.
I think this one is because I think, when he plays at TCH, it's 5-5-10. So
yeah. He plays some juicy home games from what I've seen. Unless I'm crazy, I'm pretty sure it was up like 3K today in like some home game.
He's watching, so he might let us know.
yeah, hopefully. All right, so we got a raise to 75, and it folds around to us in the big blind. And obviously, we're not folding here. It's just a question of whether we want to flat or put in a 4-bet.
No, it's a 3-bet because remember the straddle. It makes it look like a 3-bet because the straddle isn't actually a straddle. It looks like
that's not a 3-bet. I'm saying should we 3-bet?
Right? Should we 3-bet?
Yeah, I don't know if I misspoke, but
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, I like a flat here, out of position. Especially I'm assuming the TP means type passive. So especially against villain type passive raising from the position here. Yeah, so 7 deuce 4, we're checking basically everything here, standard. And he bets 100 into 175. This is on the bigger side, but definitely not unreasonable whatsoever. There's a flush draw out there. Interesting. Actually, I think it's a little large for sizing. But with nines, we're never folding here. Absolutely no sense in raising. I mean, a hand like ace king could call us, but if they're not spades or clubs, I don't imagine that they will all too often because we have all the sets of 7, 4, and deuces that would decide to just flat pre-flop. Do you have any further analysis on this flop?
No, I'm with you here. I'm just trying to think about what the type passive players is putting here.
All right, post-COVID, I'm hopping on a plane to Florida, and I'm mixing it up in these games. Yeah, we call. Right decision. Turns a 6, and here I'm assuming decides to check it over again.
Brick.
Yep. And villain leads for 225. So now it's getting a little sticky. Obviously the villain is just repping an overpair all day here. Do we expect the villain to be doing this with a hand like ace queen off that just with blockers is just deciding to just continue to go for it? Or what do you think?
I don't know. It's interesting that they choose to go big on both the flop and
I think that's interesting, so I think it's a big sizing.
It's weird because I wouldn't expect for a type passive player to go so big even with like the nut flush draw if they had something
I agree.
like an ace x of spades.
I disagree. I think it's okay for ace king of spades to do this, but when we get called on turn, like what do you think you're being called by? It's like sets, over pairs. Obviously our hand is kind of a little under repped at this point, just because we didn't decide to put in the 3-bet preflop. But yeah, so I mean, I'm assuming we just call here. I can't fold here, even though it's. I'm just gonna reevaluate a river sizing, but I expect him to barrel a ton of rivers. I expect him to just continue the story of I have aces or kings, and if you have a set, GG. That's what I expect him to do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, we call.
Two-thirds to give up.
River is an 8. It's interesting holding 9s. I mean, no, we never have 9, 10 or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, we still have an overpair to the board, and I am so curious as to his sizing. Personally, I am snapping him off if he bets half pot or less, but there's no way in hell he's betting half pot or less. So we're gonna check it over, I'm sure. And he bet. Oh god. This is okay. When I say that, I still hate to see it because I understand how much pain you're in. Because like, what does he think you're calling flop and turn with to fold to a river bet? He is giving you such amazing price, and the 8 is pretty damn inconsequential. Because what does he think we have? I'm assuming he's ranging us on 9s, 10s. God, I don't even know. Does he think we have some trash like ace 4? I mean, ace 4 of spades or something, maybe.
Right. I agree. I don't really know what he's targeting. If he does possess an overpair here, like what is going to call him? Like I don't think like 7-8 is going to call him. Like, there's some here.
This is just so painful because it's against a type passive player. If we're playing against the player you just played against, I'm literally not thinking about it. We're snapping. Right. We're playing this hand the exact same way, and we're snapping.
Right.
But against a type passive player, I mean, the only hand we really beat here, I think, is ace king. I think he's only betting queens, kings, aces. Only hand that gets there is ace 5 suited. I agree. Yeah,
right.
That's true. And when I say the 8's inconsequential, I am wrong. Ace 5 suited does get there, but I don't expect him to have here as labeled as a type passive player. Obviously, you can raise ace 5 suited for middle position, but do we expect him to play the hand unless he has exactly ace 5 of spades? I think the answer is absolutely not.
Well, Bryce,
I think
there is a third option.
Oh, there is a third option of raising. Yeah, I haven't mentioned that. Yeah, 100%. We have absolutely all these sets here, and I am so curious. I want to know more about this player and just his river frequencies. We have all the sets here, and I think I like a raise more than a call, to be honest with you, Ryan, because I think he's capped 2-1 pair, absolutely, and I think he has aces, kings, or ace king, and
Bryce,
yeah, I mean, if no, I don't know what he has. I'm so interested. I think he should raise. I'm assuming he does. Yes, let's go. Let's go. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. I mean, ace king's gonna snap fold. If he has aces or kings, he's probably going deep into the tank. And what do you do here with aces or kings, Ryan?
Oh man, I mean, what a gross spot to be in with an overpair.
Let's say against me. I think against me you fold.
Yeah,
Genuinely.
exactly. I do. I genuinely think I fold because.
Oh, let's go. We got it through.
And well, he does note what hijack had. You want to know?
Yeah, tell me. 100%.
Pocket queens.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
So he put us exactly on a set because obviously
Exactly.
aces are kings, we 4-bet pre.
Right.
And 6, 7s, and 8s make the most sense. Do you think he put us more on 8s, or do you think he put us more on I don't know. I mean, I think 6, 7s, and 8s obviously make the most sense. But wow. Yeah. Okay. I like it. I love it, honestly.
I love that.
Going through it.
I would have gotten that creative with the bluff. That's such an interesting.
I don't think a call makes sense though. I truly think fold or raise are the best options because I don't think he bets this way with ace king because a hand like 9s or 10s or jacks, which I'm assuming is what he was targeting, like calls. So I love your play. I think either folding or raising is the right decision. And I mean, you have all the sets. Let's range bully him all day. I'm in love with the play. Any closing thoughts, Ryan?
No, that's really cool. I really like this hand. That's why I pulled it out.
Oh,
also,
100%.
Curtis, as always, thank you so much for sending these. These are really fun to go over. Gotta love having a little high stakes on the show.
High stakes. Mid stakes. But yeah, definitely appreciate it, Curtis. Hopefully you run well and keep crushing. keep sending them in. Thank you so much again to Ethan. If you happen to still be watching, appreciate the hell out of you coming on today. We had a great talk with you, and cannot wait until we can meet up in Vegas. Hopefully COVID's good by then, and Ryan will hop on a plane with me.
Yeah.
But thanks again. Week 25 was great. Week 26 already got a guest lined up, and we'll see you next week.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Smash that subscribe button.
Free.
It's free. All right, we'll see you guys next week.